Of our program today, one of my favorite newsletters that I get in my inbox periodically is Sabrina Haake's. SabrinaHaake.substack is the website. SabrinaHaake.substack.com. Her Twitter handle is Haake_Sabrina, which is kind of the other way around. But a day or two ago, or three, she published a piece titled, "Elon Musk, you are on notice. Trump may be immune for soliciting violence, but you are not." I thought this was fascinating. Sabrina's an attorney. She's a federal trial attorney, 20-plus years, specializing in First and 14th Amendment defense. She's a contributor to numerous law journals and publications, including the Chicago Tribune. And so I wanted to get her on and ask her about what she was saying here. And here she is. Sabrina, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Tom. So I'm glad to be here. I think the mainstream media has done a fair job covering what Elon Musk has been doing, trying to buy this election. We've all seen it, the $1 million lottery, et cetera. It's repugnant to anyone who understands that that's illegal. But I would like to talk about something more discreet.
Mm-hmm.
The election crimes that the election shenanigans, many people think are illegal. I believe that the Philadelphia DA will handle that. The feds will handle it eventually. But nobody's talking about his potential liability for inciting violence. Elon Musk, I believe, if you're listening, you're getting bad legal advice. You do not have the right to say whatever you want to say because you think it's protected political speech. Elon Musk has this shtick about being a free speech absolutist, but there's no such thing as free speech as absolutism. The First Amendment has never protected fraud of any kind, election fraud, consumer fraud, disinformation fraud of any type, threats, speech integral to criminal conduct, verbal assault, libel, defamation, incitement to criminality, conspiracy, or incitement to violence. And I think this is where, Mr. Musk, you are running into problems. Under ordinary negligence standards, if you do or say something that causes harm, the allegation is that defendant knew or should have known that what he was doing could lead to this outcome. Trump has said that he didn't mean for J6 to erupt into violence, and he had enough plausible deniability because he said assemble peacefully, but he also said fight like hell. Fight or you won't have a country left. And in the context of what he has done, we now know, and Elon Musk is on notice, that Trump means it when he calls for violence. There have been 54 different cases so far where people have engaged in violent criminal acts, and they invoke Trump's name in doing it. The J6 defendants, there have been 210 of them who said on the record that they felt like they were following Trump's command when they showed up and engaged in violence. So, Mr. Musk, you need to understand that the U.S. Code makes solicitation of a violent crime a felony. And there are state and federal codes that say the same thing. Normally, if you engage in violence, you're personally liable. If you solicit someone else to engage in violence, you're liable. And if you are doing things to parrot Trump's calls for violence, you too are running amok, afoul of the law. It isn't just that you are hosting the internet that you have turned into a hate, just freeform hate, but you are also posting things directly. I know you think Section 230 will save you because you're just hosting the platform, but if you're amplifying algorithms, if you are reposting hate messages of violence, if you are commenting, if you're doing anything to amplify what could be construed as a call for violence, you have a very good probability of being sued if violence does come out of it. We know now that Trump called people to the ellipse on J6. We know that several people died in that mayhem, but we also know that you are personally posting things. I think I just saw yesterday something that you posted, Mr. Musk, showing a gladiator beating Kamala Harris, or a figure that had Kamala Harris's face on it. That is an invitation to violence. It's juvenile and ridiculous, but is also going to support a claim of liability if violence comes out of that. You've also said repeatedly, since Mr. Trump had a couple of assassination attempts, by the way, by Republicans, you keep saying that, and nobody is trying to assassinate Kamala Harris. You may pass that off as a joke, but it's not a joke. And if someone does try to assassinate her, you're going to have blood on your hands. And you
Make it
need
clear
to
you're speaking to Elon Musk and not to me.
That is correct. I want Musk to get this message because I think he's getting bad advice. He thinks he can say whatever he wants to because political speech is protected. And under the First Amendment, political speech is protected. But that doesn't give you carte blanche to say whatever you want and to engage in violent rhetoric. And I do want to bring a recent case to your attention. The case was Kauterman versus Colorado. It was a Supreme Court case. Went to hearing after J6. Justice Kagan wrote the opinion. And we don't have to get into your head and prove scienter. We don't have to get in your head and prove that you intended violence to ensue, which is what Trump keeps saying, well, I didn't mean for this to happen. Whether or not it's a threat or it's just political rhetoric depends on the circumstances. And the circumstances here are that we now have a track record of Trump supporting violence. We've got 54 different separate cases of violent acts where Trump's name was invoked. And we've got 210 people from J6 who said that Trump told them to do it. So you cannot say, I had no idea that this was coming. In an ordinary negligence case, a defendant will say, well, this is too outlandish. I didn't know that he would pick up a gun and do that. I didn't know that this would happen. But given the context of what has happened in the political violence realm since Trump has been mouthing off about it, and since you've been involved, you are personally posting violent imagery. You are personally encouraging people to engage in political violence. You're not going to get away with that if it happens. I certainly don't hope that it happens, but given the context and given this decision of Kauterman, Colorado, we don't have to prove that you intended anything. Kauterman versus Colorado says that the state has to show that you consciously disregarded a substantial risk that your speech would encourage violence. It means we don't have to prove that you meant it. So you can lie and say you didn't mean it. You can lie and say it was a joke. Every time you talk about someone killing Kamala Harris, you call it a joke. It's not funny. But we only have to show now that you consciously disregarded the risk. All we have to do is show that you were reckless. And your reports, your repeated calls for violence, you're joking about violence, this ridiculous gladiator stuff that you've posted where Kamala Harris is being assaulted, that's not a joke. It's not funny, and it is certainly reckless. And I believe if you keep this up, or if anyone gets attacked based on what you have encouraged them to do, you're going to be held liable. And if Alex Jones can be fined $1.5 billion for lying about Sandy Hook, imagine what a jury will do to someone much, much wealthier if they believe he caused the violence. So you're on.
Yeah, and it's a great rant, Sabrina, and it echoes your brilliant Substack piece, which everybody listening should subscribe to your newsletter. It's free, and it's remarkable. Sabrina,
it's called the Haake Take. Just want to let you know.
The Haake Take, yes, thank you. Haake. But let me ask you, I mean, you're a seasoned attorney. You've been through this more than once, and sure. I'm just wondering if it is possible in America for a billionaire to be held to account.
Absolutely, it has to be. I mean, he's thumbing his nose. When Philadelphia's DA filed the lawsuit for the $1 million lottery, which is an election crime, right. Elon Musk's response was to post the next winner of the $1 million lottery. I believe the only thing that's going to hold him to account is civil liability and potentially criminal liability.
No, I get that, but the same is true of Donald Trump, and he has spent several $100 million on lawyers simply pushing things back, pushing them back. Now, I suspect you agree with me that probably if he loses this election, he will face some certain punishment, but it will be coming from the federal government. It won't be the civil liability that you and I are talking about. I mean, isn't it possible that Musk could just basically postpone this stuff indefinitely by gaming our legal system?
I think anything is possible, but I don't think it's likely that he's going to get away scot-free forever. We may not get the satisfaction in this election, but even Trump has been named in civil suits coming out of J6 for the families of the people who died as a result of it or had brain injury or other injury. Trump is not going to be able to get rid of those suits, even with immunity. What he was doing was clearly not as president, but as somebody who is trying to defeat the outcome of an election. And Elon Musk needs to understand any civil immunities or criminal immunities that attach to a president will not attach to him. Anything that Musk and Trump do between now and January 20 are clearly as private citizens, so that he won't have the advantage of even being able to make that argument if he is defeated in this election and he calls for more violence, which they've already begun. They've been laying the groundwork for this for months by calling the election fraudulent. They're clearly trying to set up another basis for a violent attack to dispute the outcome of the election. Yeah. I believe civil and criminal liability will attach at some point. If Trump is elected, of course, he will pardon for the federal crimes. He can't pardon for state crimes. And I also think this business about Musk having commerce with Putin, while he's one of our biggest defense contractors, he's getting over $15 billion from the Department of Defense for SpaceX and other activities. And I think that is going to be looked at. So I don't think he'll skate forever. I think this is a good way to start putting him on notice. You cannot claim that you didn't know violence would happen. We all know.
I got it. So, Sabrina, I have just 60 seconds left here before we hit a hard break I can't control. It seems to me that Donald Trump is fighting for his life. He knows he's going to go to prison if he loses this election. Do you think that Elon Musk is doing the same thing, that he's throwing in with Donald Trump as aggressively as he is because he's concerned about his own liability? And he thinks Trump will protect him?
Musk is trying to regulate the regulators. He has said that he's called them bastards. He's in trouble with the FAA, the National Transportation Safety Board, the National Labor Relations Board, the Clean Water Act, the Texas Commission. I mean, he's in trouble with a lot of regulators because he doesn't seem to follow the environmental requirements that attach. He doesn't want to be regulated. Very few oligarchs do, but too bad.
Yeah, he seems like, I mean, ever since he was an illegal alien here in the United States, he has always thought of himself as above the law or beyond the law or beyond the reach of the law, and it certainly seems that way. Sabrina Haake, the Haake Take is her newsletter. It's published over on Substack. SabrinaHaake.substack.com is the website, or just go to Substack.com and plug in Haake, H-A-A-K-E, Take, and it'll pop right up. Sabrina, thanks so much for dropping by.
No, thank you.
Great rant. Thank you. We'll be back with more of the news of the day. Is how a right-wing machine stopped an abortion ballot measure down in Arkansas. And is Trump's promise to young men a threat to women?